You let him in?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Good evening, ladies. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. We're about to get started in like a minute to 2 minutes. Thank you for joining. Thanks for being on time. We're excited that you're here. We're excited that you have taken a little bit of time out for this evening to be with us on Resilient Journey. So, welcome once again to February's Resilient Journey series. And please pardon a little echo if you hear echo in the background. I am trying to use my computer and my phone so I can check the chat, but it doesn't seem like it's working well because I have a nice little echo and ringing in the background, so I might have to take it off. We'll see. Just one more minute and we'll get started. Hope everybody's doing well. Everybody has their tea or coffee or whatever you're choosing to drink in your cup or possibly eat this evening as we get prepared and ready for our hour of power. I think we got like 30 seconds.
Hey, Brandy.
Uh-huh.
Krishana is asking for the link.
Okay, can you send it over to her or ask
Yeah,
her? All right. I think she got it. No, there's somebody else.
get you.
Okay, well, go ahead and get started. Good evening, everyone. Welcome
Oh,
once again to Resilient Journey series. We're excited that you all are here. It is February. Listen, it's going up. It's going to be an amazing hour of power. I say an hour, but you know how we do. It might be an hour and a couple odd minutes afterwards. But don't hold us to just exactly an hour. Just sit back, relax, enjoy, and get ready for this amazing hour, okay? As always, I have my tea because you know I get really excited. So I have to kind of slow myself down and make sure I have some tea and I can get ready to share my amazing panelists with you all. So tonight we're talking about sacred strength, of course, and charting the life course. We're going to be talking about building strong foundations for yourself and others while using the integrated support star. Let me give you a quick disclaimer. With the support star, there's two versions. One, it is just the regular star that you'll see with one of the panelists, and two of our panelists have the integrated support star, which is split. So you have what's happening now and also what's happening in their future. So I won't spill all the beans, but just know there's a couple different stars that you'll be able to see tonight. If you don't know, I'm Brandy Muhammad, and I work for the Ohio Coalition for the Education of Children with Disabilities. I'm also an ambassador with Charting the Life course. That means I've learned lots of information, all the principles, the tools around Charting the Life course, and I can share that with others as well. Thanks to the Family Resource Network of Ohio, I am a contractor, so I get to do what I do here and hang out with you guys to share my amazing panelists, amazing friends, and share about Charting the Life course. If you have not done so, find us on the Family Resource Network of Ohio page. Once again, that's frnohio.org. You can find us there. You can see all the videos, not Resilient Journey videos because that's on YouTube, but you'll see other videos. You'll see different presenters from our team to share about what else? Charting the Life course. Also, we are on Facebook as well. Yeah, I know, Facebook. That might be for somebody past the age of 25. We are on Facebook, so feel free to jump in, learn more about Charting the Life course through the Family Resource Network of Ohio. And don't forget to find me on Facebook as well because I would love to know you here and there too. As we always do, we always have a nice opportunity to share and get to know each other. So what we're going to do is right now, I'm just going to take you on a little ride, a little journey, I would call it. So if you could just take a moment to look at those three bricks, right? And before I welcome my amazing panelists, I want to do something really quick. I would like for everybody, if you can, to close your eyes. If you feel okay closing your eyes. If not, just look away from the camera for just 1 second. What I want you to do is think about the last time you had one of those days. And I say it slowly, and I intentionally ask that question for you just to think about. That kind of day where nothing when it's planned, right? Where you weren't sure what you were going to do or how you're going to hold on. I just want you to take a moment just to breathe. All right, come on back. Now think about this. Who brought you back from that moment? The question is, was it a friend? Did a friend text you or call you? Was it you just spending 5 minutes of quiet time? Some meditation? Was it a hug from a stranger or a friend or a loved one? Your child? Was it a phrase that you've heard in the past and it brought you back? Or was it even a song? Let's continue with these bricks. I'll bring it around. That person, that habit, that practice, that prayer, that truth you return to, it's one of those bricks. I want to remind us all that bricks that you see here, yeah, they're split and there's cracks in them, right? However, they're not broken. They are resilient, just like you. Resilience isn't about being unbreakable, right? It's not about never, ever wobbling, right? Swaying from left to right. It's about knowing that sometimes, even without realizing it, these bricks will keep you going. Some of those bricks you'll keep coming back to. Some of those bricks are inside of us. And some of them are people. Some of them are practices we have built over time. I want you just to take a moment, if you can, to write in the chat a few of your bricks. That can be family, friends, quotes, songs, mantras, meditation, mindfulness. If you just take a second to share that, we'll jump in with our panelists after this. And you know me, I don't mind those awkward moments. So take your time to think about a brick, several bricks, and put it in the chat for us. And panelists, you're welcome to add to. Husband, thank you. Friend.
Renee, can you tell your person that has a TV in the background, you're starting to hear the background noise, the TV or something in the back.
Yeah, I got you. Yep.
Thank you.
All right, I'm back. Family and friends. Yes, my granny. Thank you. We'll take a couple more. Prayer, for sure. Children, very grateful. Yes, my puppy. I would even add here for myself, just sisterhood and friendship that I've been able to develop and create with each and every one of you. We got a couple more and we're moving on. Remembering gratefulness, yes. I strive to live in gratitude. When things aren't always going my way, I just remind myself that I'm grateful for this opportunity in this moment. So as you can see, I have my amazing panelists this evening. I have Dr. Tanika Price, Esquire. We also have Commissioner Nicole Carter. And last but not least, we affectionately call her, thanks to Lady Extreme Nicole, Lady Lyles, Lady Arla Lyles. They are going to take the time out to share about their star and what that looks like for them. Each of them are moms, right? Each of them have sons. And so when I initially asked them to be on the panel, I didn't know why I was choosing, let me turn this off, sorry, why I was choosing each person for what reason, right? And I didn't recognize that each of them had sons in their lives that they are supporting, caring for, loving, and more. And they have been able to create a friendship and sisterhood around them all having sons around the same age. So let me just give you a little bit more details in reference to the star. As I told you before, there's two versions of the star, the integrated support star. As you can see here, this is one integrated support star, and the other one is a split star. So the way this works is in the middle, you can put a problem, a challenge, you can put yourself, right? And we always start with the star at the top, and I'll show you up here, right? We start up here with your personal strengths and assets. Each person is representing either themselves or their sons that they'll talk about today. So they may share some of their skills, some of the assets, some of the beautiful things about their child. Next, we have technology. And as you can see, technology is right over here on it would be my left side, possibly your right side. And you'll just learn about the different tools that they're using. And with the future, with the split star, you'll also see some future ideas or thoughts and things that they want to do, or for their son or for themselves in the near future. Community-based is at the bottom, and that could be library, church, that could be rec centers, different places, the YMCA, other engaging places that this child or this adult might go and participate in. We skip back past eligibility specific and we jump over to relationships. And as you can see, relationships can be those that love you, they care for you, family, friends, acquaintances. It can be even if you're going to the grocery store, you might see the same young person, with the groceries. That could be a relationship that has been built, right? Relationships can be different. They can be a chosen family, or they can be a biological. For me, I have a chosen family, the Resilient Journeys team, the Resilient Journey audience. You guys are all my chosen family, in addition to my panelists as well. We'll scroll down here to eligibility specific, and we always do that last because I don't know if you are sometimes thinking about eligibility like I think about it. We also want to think about that whole person before we start talking about, hey, do they have a waiver? Do they qualify for a waiver, SSI, and these other things? We learn about the whole person, what the challenge may be with that person or that individual, and then we backtrack at the end to learn about what the needs are, what they might need, how they can get help, what are the diagnoses, what are the disabilities, and etc. So, as you continue to sit back and enjoy this opportunity, I would like to bring up my first panelist, and that'll be Dr. Tanika Esquire. And let me just tell you a little bit about Tanika, because I have amazing friends. Everybody who's my panelists are always my amazing friends and or new friends that I have met. But I have known Dr. Tanika for many moons since we were like in 5th grade. And let me just tell you this quick snippet. I was at a new school really fast, right? I was at this new school and I was there, and I remember, we were kind of hanging out and being friends, but I had to go to another classroom, right? I had to go to like a resource room with that. And Tanika, at the time she wasn't Dr. Tanika because we were both in 5th grade. She was like, okay, I'll see you later. She had to go over there with the other kids, and I just felt some kind of way. If she doesn't know, now she knows. I felt some kind of way when I was in 5th grade that I was not able to be in your same classroom because I was an exceptional student. That's all I'm sharing. That's all I have to say. I'm going to relinquish the mic over to Dr. Tanika Esquire. You have the floor.
Thank you. Well, I have many wonderful memories of going to your house after church and spending the night and us having a great time. And it's so wonderful that our lives have converged back again for us to be in the same space. I'm really happy about that. I will tell you all that this integrated support star was a struggle for me. Yes, I'm a lawyer. Yes, I'm a doctor. But when it comes to parenting my 24-year-old son living with autism, I am a novice. I am a fish out of water. And so I really lean into my friends who are experts. And I really leaned into Brandy and to Lady Extreme and to Lady Lyles um, to help me craft my integrated support star. So I will tell you before I start with the details that this really works. I did my integrated support star, and 2 days later, my son's glasses broke. And so he came in the room in the morning. He said, Mom, I can't go to work. My glasses are broke. He has really bad eyesight. And I didn't know what to do because I had a packed day. I had meetings back to back to back. Ordinarily, I would have gotten a car, took him somewhere to get his glasses fixed. So I went in the room and I thought about what to do. And I thought about my integrated support star. And I said, I sent him a link to eyeglasses place that they could, he could get glasses the same day. And I said, you're going to have to go get your own glasses. And it was so hard for me. It was so hard for me. My heart was beating, I was kind of like perspiring a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh. And so he came down and he got his prescription from me. He got there. He said, what's the insurance? I had given him an insurance card, but he didn't have it. I took a picture of the insurance card, sent it to him, and I just waited patiently. And when he came in the door with his glasses, I was so proud. And I have got to start allowing him to be independent. I have got to. I have really held his hand and held him back because I don't want anything to happen to him. I think this world is so cruel and it's so mean and it's so harsh. I've tried to do everything for him, but that was one step towards independence. And thank you, Brandy. Thank you for this integrated support star. It really, really helped me in real time this week. So, my son Jamir is a 24-year-old Afro-Latino male. His father's Panamanian. He's the third of six siblings and one of two sons that I have. He is so pleasant to be around. He really is. He's articulate, he's intelligent, he's helpful, considerate, and obedient. I'm just like helicopter mom, and I take over all the time. I told Jamir that he could not drive because when we were talking about being pulled over, if he has locks that are like in his face. And I said, what would you do if you got pulled over? He said, I wouldn't get pulled over because I would be going the speed limit. I would be stopping at the stop sign. I would be stopping at the red light. I said, well, what if they want to pull you over because you're African American, because of how you look? He said, Mom, they would never do that. That's ridiculous. And I thought to myself, for somebody whose mind sees things as concrete, the notion of racism, of being judged just by your looks, it seemed ridiculous for him, you know? And so I told him, I said, well, it could happen if they pull you out of the car. What are you going to do? And he said, I wouldn't get out the car because I wouldn't be wrong. And so I decided then at 16, he could not drive because I couldn't take something happening to my baby. And we've all seen the stories of people living with autism, how they've been treated by the cops. And so um, he decided on his own last year when he was 23 that he was going to drive. And so he went and got his temps, and then he worked hard, saved up his money. He bought a car, and he came in, and I was sitting at the dinner table, and he threw the keys on the desk. And he said, I did it. I bought my own car. And so now I just pray a prayer covering over him. And I love that, again, he fought for his independence because I wasn't willing to help him get it, but he fought for that. As far as technology, Jamir has always been very, very gifted with technology. I told him that he could go into a career in technology, but he said he did not want to be labeled or seen as a nerd. So he has stayed away from that. He works in food service right now. He's not a part, as far as community based, he's not a part of the community. Most of the things that I participate in, such as church, family outings, and community events, he tends to stay by himself. But what I had to remind myself when I did this support star is that I need to continue to ask him and invite him, because I asked him if he wanted to go on a cruise last year, and I was shocked when he said yes. I was like, oh my God, what you mean yes? And so I had to hurry up and buy him a ticket. And he went on a cruise and we had a great time. So I have to remember, even though I think of him as not being involved in these community events, that I still need to ask him. As far as eligibility specific goes, Jamir was approved for Social Security when he was 18. But since he's been working this most recent full-time job, he has lost that eligibility because he's worked too many hours. And that's a choice that he made. Jamir has never identified with autism. So even as I was preparing to do this and I was talking to him about doing this, I said, I'm doing this because you have autism. And he said, what? And I said, yes, you have autism. He said, I do. And I wanted to be like, boy, but it's just something that he identifies as having ADHD, but he is always resisted an autistic diagnosis. And I said, Jamir, this is not a bad thing that you have autism. It's something that I want you to grow and accept. And he said, I know a lot of people with autism. Wow. I mean, he really acted like this was the first time that he had been hearing this, and he's been diagnosed since he was 12. So if he was open to his diagnosis, then I could get him more services like job coaching and maybe things to help with time management because he does really good for a time. And then it's like almost like he hits a wall and he'll just come home one day and just quit his job, or he'll be unable to get out of the bed or something. So knock on wood, this has been a long time that he's had this job. I try not to count months because I don't want to get anxious when it gets around the period of time when he usually quits. So I just don't, I try not to keep record of it. I'm just supporting him every single day in what he's doing. And then finally, relationships. Jameer is an excellent big brother, and he really looks out for his siblings. As a matter of fact, it was his relationship with his brother that had his pediatrician keep saying he can't have autism. Look at the way he interacts with his brother. Look at the way he plays with his brother. He makes eye contact with his brother. The pediatrician kept saying that meant that he could not have autism, and it delayed his autism diagnosis. So he is a loner, but he's always there for his siblings whenever they need him, especially now that he has a car. He seems to love to drive them around, drive them to the store, drive them to where they need to go. He has one friend that I know of in person. That's Miles. That's been his friend since high school. But besides that, his entire support system, so to speak, is online. So all of his friends are online. And I'm okay with that. We talk about how to be safe online. I have seen instances where he's been taken advantage of in terms of like buying things that I thought were overpriced, or he sent people money before that scammed him. And then he was like, they didn't scam me. They must have really needed the money. So I try to like, just keep talking to him about those kind of things, but I don't micromanage his finances. I don't micromanage what he does with his money. I don't charge him rent, although now that I'm doing the integrated support star, I'm thinking about it because I have to get him to independent. So I love my son. It really took a long time. I had to grieve the person that I thought he would be and accept the person that he is. And now that I've gone through that process, I absolutely love the person that he is, and I wouldn't trade it for $1 million. So thank you all for hearing my story.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tanika. I do want to just ask you a question or two. So you talked about the integrated support star, and you've used it in different ways, right? For you in the future, do you think it would be an opportunity for him and you to sit down together to go over maybe something in the future? So for like his job, he's working now, but maybe with the transition that he may switch out to another job later, maybe that could be the challenge or opportunity for growth and maybe help him along those lines? Or do you see using the tool in a different way?
No, that's exactly why I didn't do the split star because I want to do the split star with him. I want him to decide where he sees himself in the future. I want him to decide what the next step is. He's talked about moving out, and I want to know, like, what does that look like for him?
Yeah.
Does he need to start saving money to work towards that? So I really wanted to put him in the driver's seat to be able to talk about what his future goals are and what his future looks like. I don't want to decide that for him because that's what I've been doing all of this time. And so, yes, I'm going to use the integrated support star. And, we don't talk about this. That conversation that we had is the first conversation that we've had about his autism since he was a teenager, because I know it makes him uncomfortable. So I just don't bring it up. And that's not the way forward. We're going to have to sit down and have these difficult conversations so that we can understand where each other is coming from and we can work together to move forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Tanika. So listen, ladies, as you're listening, listen for those bricks they're sharing. I say nuggets, right? Listen for the bricks. Listen for the nuggets. It's going to be amazing how you can see Lady Lyles and how you can see Lady Extreme, how their stories are not the same, but they're very similar, right? With their sons and their different ages and their transition. So I'll stop talking and we'll come back to it in a second. But let me introduce our next panelist. Give me one quick second to stop sharing and share again so I can get it on properly. One moment. Okay. One more time. And thank you, Dr. Tanika, again for sharing. And P.S. I wasn't hating on you, for the record. I'm happy now. At the time, I was like, what about me? It's all good. All right, ladies. Thank you for your patience. And now I'm going to present to you Lady Extreme Nicole. As you know, Commissioner Nicole has been with me since the beginning, and she continues to hold fast as long as we can go together. I'm so excited for you to be able to present your integrated support star. Now, she's doing hers a little different. As you can see, this is the split star. So she has what's happening now, and then also what's going to be happening in the future. I'm really excited because last time she did it for her son, Stephen. She has 3 children. Quote me if I'm wrong. But her son, Stephen, she does a lot of talking about him, but this time she gets to talk about herself. So I'll stop talking and let Lady Extreme Nicole share about herself, please, and thank you.
Well, you know, you're absolutely amazing. It is awesome to be with you guys. This time around, I wanted to talk about the reason why I did the split star is I have busied my life, and sometimes you got to slow down to take a look. Brandy was right. I do have 3 children, a daughter that's 21, my autistic son who's 19, and I have a 16-year-old genius. All of them are geniuses, actually. But this time around, I want to kind of focus in on the busyness of my life, but also living with a disability. I had a accident at a car rental place where I sliced my calf muscle so that it never grew back. So it grew back very crooked. So it put me in a situation where now I am on a mobile scooter, and I'm going to probably be on one for the rest of my life, and I'm okay with that. From this, having a son with autism allowed me to be able to adjust to my own disability because I was extremely busy and extremely active in the community, and my ability to move around and about changed the narrative as soon as I got stuck to a mobile scooter. There was a whole shame factor that went with that because it's kind of hard to see from a perspective of now I have a disability and all the inaccessibility things are for me. And so this star is kind of like a communication. And of course, everybody was playing around with the meme via Chat GPT. And I decided to throw it in here just to play around with some of the things I have done. I was in the United States Army. I have a festival that I do every year called the All Disabilities Festival. I do it twice a year. And I'm a commissioner, as Brandy indicated. And doing all these things with a mobile unit really it humbled me, because when the shame factor kicked in, it was kind of like, oh no, not me. And it was okay to be an advocate for my son and running around and being an advocate for other people, and then running around and giving everybody resources and support and things of that nature. But I never ever took the time out to figure out resources and support for myself. So this start came important because it's kind of hard to assist someone who is so independent. So I thought my independence was a superpower, and I found out that it's only a superpower to you, because if don't nobody know how to support you, your powers dwindle away. So just like in any superhero situation, when you know the power of the person, you know how to best utilize it as a tool in your toolbox. So if a person has a certain kind of thing and they tell you these are my strengths and these are my weaknesses, it kind of helps them. And my family really didn't know my weaknesses, so this star allowed me to be able to say, okay, this is what I see for myself. This is what I see for my future. This is my strength in technology. These are all the things I'm pretty good at. This is a place where I'm like, oh, Lord, help me. And then, and all the things. So this star really came as a resource to be able to discuss with people and individuals, and as we said on this call, to begin to embrace others. And sometimes as we get older, the older you get, everyone eventually will need some kind of assistance. If you make it to 100, you might be the healthiest 100, but you might not move as smooth as you did at 20. So I had to come into reality and come to the place where now I focused in on this star from a perspective of saying, okay, be okay with asking for assistance and things of that nature. Be okay with participating. Some of my meetings I got to participate via Zoom because my body sometimes doesn't have the strength to do certain things, and taking away that shame factor of myself. So this is a unique dynamic to go into, and this is the reason why this star was so important to me, because it allowed me to be okay with but now with having a disability and still being able to operate and move in leadership in the community and begin to make people aware of some of the things that's not some of the accessible problems, some of the things that quiet people might not say out loud or don't have the ability to say. Now that I'm in the situation, it gave me the boldness to begin to talk. So I am just so that's the reason why you see all that, and a partridge in a pear tree. But I'm here for questions. I'm an open book, and anything you ladies want to ask, I'm here for you and here for it all.
Thank you so much, Lady Extreme. Listen, I'm going to tell you how I met her too. I officially don't know when we officially met, but I know, I want to say this, that she has been doing an All Disability Fest for the last 12 years. This will be her 12th year. Can you give us the time and date again for the All Disabilities Fest? It has been thousands of people this year. It's supposed to be expected to be 3,000, 4,000 people. Is on the campus of, I say the campus, but COSI is right in front. Everybody can come, families, friends, it doesn't matter. Lots of vendors, lots of connections that can be made. It is an amazing opportunity. I love it. My question, okay, so tell us your date and then I'll ask you my question.
Absolutely. So the creation of the All Disabilities Festival came about because I had friends that were deaf. I had friends that were blind, and I had different. So it was a community event. And initially, it was just kind of a community, which Bill, like Brandy indicated, we've been doing it for 11 years now. We had 4,000 people yesterday, and projected to 10,000 this year. But the main thing is it's July the 12th. Downtown Columbus from 1 to 5, right in front of COSI. And it's an opportunity. The basis is that there's to take away the shame factor when people find out that they have a diagnosis. For me, my festival helped me to handle now that I'm on a mobile scooter. So, and for parents who get a diagnosis either early with their child with disability, or if they get a diagnosis and the child is an adult, just the resources is available. And a lot of times, I've learned that people don't have access to those resources because sometimes people are at work. And this is an opportunity for people to come to a full festival. So you'll see the clowns, well, not clowns. I have all the superheroes and everything like that. But they could come down. They got music, all the things. It's a festival, and they can get access to resources and learn different things. So it started out as a thing that I was doing for my friends, and then it built to what it is today. But yeah, so that's this July 12th. So Brandy, I ain't gonna keep. Yeah, go ahead, go baby. You was gonna ask me a question.
It's okay. Thank you so much. Cecilia put it in the chat for you as well. It's an amazing event, like she said. I love it every year. For you, Lady Shrim, I want to ask, because I think not our panelists, but our audience knows, right? That yes, you're a producer. You do a lot of stuff in the community. So we got that those personal strengths and assets. I just want to touch bases with you over here on this technology situation here. I see right now, like now you're doing Zooms, trainings, community engagement. What does that look like for you in the future? Are you working towards learning those different tools? Are you getting information from your Gen Y? Because we're Gen Z, we're Gen X's, right? Yeah, Gen X's. So are you getting that information from Destiny? Or are you just learning it on your own? Because I use, what is it called? Rocket something. It doesn't matter. I'm not promoting it. I'm just letting you know. I use it because it's been helpful to me. But I see for you under technology, you have that as one of your things in the future that you would like to do.
Yeah, in the future, I really would like to take advantage of even more so to become a lifelong learner. I think what happens is that the pandemic did teach me that it's okay to conduct business via technology or things of that nature, and to begin to open up technology opportunities for my festival, because some people can't come down. Some people, the sun, they have different elements and stuff like that, but to begin to enjoy. So I'm looking in the future to really try to find a way to virtualize the experience so that people can have an opportunity to have good, and then plus to encourage people to you can still participate and you still have a place, even if you're at home. I do have one of the things, like Tanika pointed out, when you have a son that might be, that might not want to go out and associate with people, they might log in and just have their own opportunity, their own fun. And then one of the things I did do during the pandemic, I used to send out boxes to people, and we would come online and they'll open up the boxes, and there was different toys and different activities and things of that nature. Whereas when we came online, we was able to have a different kind of thing. And then we also had a drive-through initiative. So it's just mainly giving opportunities to people coming from different scenarios and different perspectives. So my goal is to utilize it even more so and to normalize it. So that's what my goal is.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you, using the integrated support split star for you and how it worked for you versus, somebody else. When you did it before with your son, because the thing is, when we use these tools, even though we may be using it for our child or our adult child, we're really working to find out what their need is, right? And so we're not just answering, filling in the boxes on our own behalf. We're filling in the boxes with our child for their behalf. And so I'm just really excited and thankful that you took the time out to put some information down for yourself. Because Lady Extreme, you're always sharing yourself with others. But it's beautiful to see that you took a little bit more time just to, put it down for yourself, for you to have it, just like Dr. Tanika said, that when you put the information down, it makes a difference, right? I know Lady Lyles will say something similar, because once you have the information, you can share it with others. That's a beautiful thing I find with Charting Life course tools. I'm really able to put that information down and pass it along. It's not just for me, but it's for my family, it's for friends, and different ways. Last question I want to ask you about eligibility specific. And the reason why I bring that up is because I know when you talked about having a disability, have you found all the resources that you need now since you've had this disability?
Actually, this part is causing me to look into stuff for myself, since you wanted to bust me out on all in front of family. Because a lot of times I'm so busy looking out for others that I have neglected me. And so this allows me to take the time out to look at myself, but I'm not looking to after myself until after this call, and after you probably call me to tell me that I need to do that. So I'm going to let Lady Lyles go ahead and speak, because I'm getting embarrassed and my cheeks are starting to turn red. So I love you, Brandy, but
and I love you back.
I haven't done me yet, and bye.
Okay, thank you so much. See, this is what we talk about. We're Resilient Journeys. We are vulnerable. We are willing to share, not everything, a lot of things with you all. So I thank you, Lady Extreme. I thank you, Dr. Tanika. Listen, we're going up. Next up is Lady Lyles. So let me tell you a little bit about Lady Lyles. We met many years ago at Zora's house. I believe that was our initial date. Not date, but our initial connection. If you don't know, Zora's house is a co-working space for Black women to come together, hang out, connect, be in their own space, working, and etc. We were both ambassadors, and so it's just another opportunity to connect. And I'll just say, in addition to the other lady, she's another one of my amazing sister friends, right? And so when I asked her to jump on, she was like, yes, fine, Brandy, okay. She works for a nonprofit. She helps moms navigate parenting, or maybe even families navigate parenting. But I'm going to pause for the calls and let Lady Lyles go ahead and share about herself and the integrated split star. I'll pass it to you.
Thank you so much, Brandy. Good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here with you ladies and share space and be vulnerable. I'm really excited to talk to you about this integrated support split star that I used. Brandy and I have been friends, as she said, for many years. We've had many conversations about our special children. We have, I think, done very well to support one another, to listen to one another, to guide where needed. And I feel like that's where this tool came into play. She did introduce the integrated support split star to me, and I was a little slow to action at first when it came to using and implementing this tool, and really didn't do much research on it, just looked at it and was like, what am I supposed to do with this? And so, with a little gentle guidance, I was able to see how I could use this as it relates to my youngest son, Ashanti. He is the youngest of three children, three biological children. I have stepchildren as well that are older than him. He is the youngest of two twin boys. He is currently 21 years old, and some of our conversations have been around how you pivot as a parent, how you maybe transition your parenting from minor children to adult children. And so I have found this tool to be helpful and useful for me. I find myself to be a deep thinker and a slow processor. I'm always kind of processing information, mulling over ideas, problem solving, and I do it oftentimes alone and kind of silently. So using this tool really helped me get things down on paper and in a compartmentalized way. I think about my son all the time because he's the child that has seemingly presented the most challenges, right? So his siblings, have decided to be children who kind of do what they're told and, follow the path and, check the boxes. Whereas, Ashanti is a free thinker, much like his mom and his father. The DNA is quite strong in this child. And, he really likes to do things on his terms. It has to make sense to him. He wants to self-regulate, do it in his own time. And when he was a little guy, that was frustrating to his mom, but as he's grown, I've really learned to appreciate this personal strength and to see it as an asset because, he makes the decisions he wants to make that are right for him. And I can absolutely respect that. Um, we currently cohabitate. So he is my roommate and we share all the spaces in this home. And, for the future, I would really love for him to gain some awareness of his surroundings. I would really love for him to consider, the impact his presence in this home has on myself and anybody else that's occupying these spaces. I'd love to see him be a little more tidy. I'd love to see him pick up after himself and kind of reset the kitchen for the next person who wants to come in and use that space and do the same in the bathroom and again in those common areas. I think that with his diagnosis of ADHD, he sometimes lacks that awareness of, his things being in a common area. In terms of technology, I find him to be very technologically savvy. I do feel like he is my in-home tech guru. So that's definitely an asset to me and to the family. If something's going wrong or not working right, the internet's stopping, the TV won't work, I can call him down and put him to work. And he might blow his breath a little bit, but he'll definitely help his mom out and fix whatever needs our attention. In the future, I really would love to see him continue to be open to learning and growing in this area and in other areas. We've been practicing financial literacy. We do that oftentimes via a mobile app, and I want to see that continue. I'm really impressed with how much he's grown in that area. I do check all of my children's accounts weekly, and the other day was overdrawn, and I mentioned it to him, and before I could even get it out of my mouth, he was like, "I took care of it, Mom." So I was like, okay, so I see growth in that area. Again, he does well with other technology, but there's always some growth, right, that we can experience in these areas. So I'm really proud of him. With the community based, he's, kind of homebody like his mom. We're in our safe place here. We have what we need. We don't have to go out for much. We can exist almost optimally, in our square box. But I would love to see him build community. He is working part-time as a lifeguard. So I know he has community, in his workplace with his colleagues and his supervisors. Our family, our close-knit family is very much a community. He has his online community as well. He's very much a gamer. And so I hear him in almost constant dialogue while he's upstairs and I'm downstairs. I can hear him engaging his community. So he's very supported in that way. As he and I continue to work on our relationship, I feel like he's gaining confidence, and he is more vocal, right, and more transparent. So, with his diagnosis, it seems like he's coming out of his shell. So, that makes me happy because, there was a time he wouldn't talk to his mom, he wouldn't tell me anything. And I think a part of that was because I didn't understand his diagnosis and I didn't understand the impact it had on his life. And I maybe had some unrealistic expectations of him. And it caused kind of strain in our relationship because we weren't seeing eye to eye. So we've come a very long way. I'm really happy about that. Um, I think I talked a little about the relationships he currently has when I spoke about community. I put here for the future, hoping that one day he'll spend more time with people in real life and not just virtually. Again, he'll go out and go to work and he comes right back home. And so he could be like his mom, where he can be easily overstimulated by too many people in one place. So I can imagine, just like myself, when he gets off of work, he wants to come home to his solitude. But I would really love to see him really engage, face to face with people. And that's just a selfish desire as his mom. In terms of eligibility, I feel like he was diagnosed late at 17. Um, I feel a way about this late diagnosis. I feel like we may have missed out on opportunities for different resources he may have been eligible for had this been caught, earlier in his school years. Um, but we're learning and navigating. Before it was my turn to speak, I heard him speaking about his cortisol. And so I'm like, cortisol? He was telling somebody online about his cortisol levels. And I was like, okay, so he is learning. He is doing his research. He is plugged in. And so it surprised me. And yet, I'm excited about that because, I've constantly said to him that, you're going to have to learn how to navigate your life with this diagnosis. I appreciate hearing from the other ladies in the room because I don't want to project, any weight on him in terms of what this might mean for him. And, it's truly up to him to decide how this fits into his life. He asked me if I thought he was autistic, so in terms of eligibility, I will continue to support him. As I heard Dr. Price and Lady Extreme mention, supporting their children the way that they do, if that's something he wants to explore. Um, but we've come a long way. I'm really proud of him. I'm really proud of me. I used a lot of tough love in his younger years, and I realized that doesn't work so well with him. So since I've softened up a little bit and been in a place of allowance with him, giving him his space, letting him self-regulate, not being that helicopter parent, kind of grounding myself sometimes and then going back up when I need to, just to give him an opportunity to be a young man. He is 21, right? This year he'll be 22. So I want him to feel like he's in control of his life and that, he has the support of his family and that he can do anything that he sets his mind to. So thank you for listening. And Brandy, personally, thank you for sharing this tool. It's a beautiful visual aid. Like Dr. Price, I think I will share it with him to see if he sees any value in using it for himself. So thank you.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you. So I don't know if you guys noticed, like my change in demeanor, right? When I'm sorry, I keep wanting to call everybody doctor, but hey, Dr. Lyles, if you want to be a doctor one day, so be it. When Lady Lyles speaks, instantly my body just relaxes, like, okay. I love it. You have to get to know these ladies. They are amazing. They have dropped some great nuggets, amazing nuggets, some, sharing those bricks. We're going to ask you guys to take another moment to share about the bricks. But before we do, while you're thinking about some of those bricks that they shared, think about, I would like to ask Dr. Lyles. Yep, we're just going to go with it. Dr. Lyles, just a couple questions while you're thinking about those bricks that they shared. So as you were filling out the integrated support split star for your son or with your son, I see that like there's an area of need, right, under eligibility specific. Have you guys been able to have that conversation, or is that, like you talked about, something that you will do in the future with showing him this tool and helping him to navigate? Because what I heard you say was you're going to support him the way he wants to be supported versus the way you want to support him.
Yes, when I let him lead, the outcome is better for everyone. I'm learning to follow his lead instead of positioning myself as the leader, which parents often do, and it's what we think we're supposed to do.
Yes.
I did leave that blank after Miss Cecilia said we didn't have to fill everything in. I thought, this is where we can learn and grow. I do want to share this tool with him. I want to feel him out.
Mm-hmm.
He's a sensitive soul, like his mama. You could say something the wrong way at the wrong time with the wrong energy, and good luck bringing him back around. So I'll feel him out. I'll walk my baby steps, towards him with this and see how he feels. Um, as you mentioned, I host parenting classes online, and he has overheard me sharing about him in class, and he doesn't particularly like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to respect him and be sensitive about that. And so, yes, this will be something that I hope we can do in the future. And since I know he is plugged into, his diagnosis, maybe he'll be able to lead us, in, some eligibility specific tools, that maybe he's aware of. But we can definitely partner in this way.
Awesome. Thank you, Lady Lyles. I appreciate that. I want to remind everybody, for my panelists and also for our audience members, reminding you guys you are not alone in this journey, right? And I say that emphatically. I say that with lots of love and reminders because my panelists have shared. Hopefully you guys have gained some information and learned. But I also want to remind you that there's resources out there. If you don't know, I think a lot of you know Autism and We. Hey, it is a game changer. I have been on their weekly call. It starts at 7 p.m. every Thursday, except for the second Thursday. They have voluntarily come over with us to be on our call. Listen, and it's so you hear the name, right? So you have autism and we. That's anybody else who has a diagnosis, disability. Moms get to come together and have conversations about what's going on, what resources are available, what eligibility is there and available for you. Also, just chances just to sit and talk. And so I just wanted to add that quick plug because it has been amazing for me as a mom. It's amazing just to hear the other moms and sharing their stories. I heard one of the moms saying that, like when their child was diagnosed, I think it was Dr. Tanika, when her son was diagnosed, she felt like, this is different, right? So, she had whatever range of emotions that she went through with that grief process, she still was able to push through. And so she found her community to help her to navigate that process. Same thing for everybody. With what I also have found was with my panelists this time, for the most part, I think maybe Lady Extreme's son was a little older. Dr. Tanika's son was a little bit older as well, still in high schoolish. Is that correct? Please correct me if I'm wrong. And then once again, Lady Lyles' son was a little bit older as well. And so I am still working on not living in regrets. And what I mean by that is with the different diagnoses that I'm finding out about for myself and others, that no matter what time or what time when it happens, it's right on time. because there's resources, there's community, there's people who can help you through it. There's tools, as you can see here, that can help us to learn how to put that information on paper. As the ladies were speaking today, I was like, man, I need to add some more stuff to my integrated support star, in particular, like relationships. And so for me, as you all know, or some may not know, part of my story is I have 3 amazing angels, right? 2 of the 3 are online today. And so Lady Laos just reminded me, don't always share their business, because they're not always willing to allow you to share, as I set up, right? their story. But what I want to do is to also, on the relationship part for them, to continue to have their friendships and, their connections. But I also want them to create additional relationships in the future, as I just kind of go around the circle for each of my children, my young adults and adults, kind of seeing what other places can be filled in. Not necessarily by me. I could just add value to those spaces. The beautiful thing, I've said it before and I say it again, and I think my panelists have shared too, that when you're able to put the information on paper, it makes a difference. I used this tool many moons ago when my husband had transitioned, right? And so I still had to go to that IEP meeting, right? I still get a little flustered about it. I still was required, and my husband wasn't there anymore. And I remember my friend Elaine, we worked together, and she helped me through this process and filled out this support star. And it was not the split star, but it was just the integrated support star, the one that Dr. Tanika went over. And it was my communication device, because I couldn't necessarily speak and say, hey, A, B, C, and D, but I could present it and pass that information along to the panel, not the panel, but to the team members within the IEP meeting. So I didn't have to do as much talking, because the challenge it was me. I was a solo mom now, and what that looked like. And so I just really want to share that information. I want to remind everybody that you're not alone in this journey. There's lots of us. Dr. Future Nicole may share at some point the statistics is how many, if you don't mind, would you just unmute really quick, how many people or individuals have disabilities? Is it in the state of Ohio or nationally? What was that number?
Nationally, there's 1 in every 4. So nationally, a fourth of the population has some form of disability. And when it comes down to in Ohio, I think we were in the I believe 20% or 25, 20% of our population does. So it's a huge number. So disability is the largest minority group in the nation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I remind myself and I remind others that with having a disability, that's like a superpower, right? Lady Extreme talked about those superpowers. We look at it differently. So not oppositional defiance, but OCD. Some people are like, oh my gosh, you got OCD. No, what you have is you are working to perfect things. You're working to make things better and make them look proper the way that you want them to look, right? ADHD, as my daughter said, you're just creative, Mom. You exhort your enthusiasm with different things that are happening. Because I was like, oh my gosh, I would just tell you guys this really fast. Yesterday I was talking to my son and I was like, I think I got ADHD. And he laughed, right? I was like, what is so funny? I'm acknowledging it now. He was like, he could be smart, but he didn't. But the point is, I just appreciate how we can, turn it and still make it a beautiful experience for each of us, for those who are exceptional, those who have different ways of learning, different ways of thinking. Our children, it's the same thing. We can have those friends and support and relationships that continue to be developed. So before we move on, before we end, let me just go over here to our last couple slides. If anybody has any questions, there were some comments in the chat, so I'll take a moment to see if we can have that conversation. Let me pull it up just a little bit. Thanks. Aw, my Yasmin says you're so strong. Thanks. Look at the heart. See my angels. I love y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Where is it at? So check out the resources for your people engaging in, where is it at, Celia? Okay, Community Life Guide /home, and that's built around charting life courses, some tools. Shout out to Grove. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. And then Jamie also sent another resource. It's called Smooth Visionary Cuts, and it's free cuts for superstars. All our angels are superstars, so go find them. Yes, feel free to jump in. You're so welcome. I'm glad that you are here. We're not done yet. I told you, just a couple minutes after 8, so just hold fast. If you have any of those bricks that you want to add, throw it in the chat. If not, you can email me. You can also put it in our evaluation. Second to last note, I'm like one of those Baptist preachers, right? I'm going to just say, one of my closings are, we have the Ohio Showcase. And so as you can see, we have the Community of Practice meeting. That is February 25th. That one is free, no charge, from 8:30 to 11:30. And what the Community of Practice is the opportunity for others to come together, have conversations about what they're doing in their community. Leaders will have the Department of Developmental Disabilities there. There's others that will be there sharing and presenting. And then we have the beginners workshop. If you want to know more about the integrated support STAR and some of the other tools, along with the principles, because the principles are here and the tools feed off of the principles. So if you want to be part of the beginners workshop, it starts at 1 to 3. I know Celia, some of the Charting the Life course, I get really excited. Some of the Charting the Life course team members will be presenting that day. That'll be Barb. I know Celia will be there. Erica may be presenting, as well as Tracy will be presenting too. So if you want to learn more, check that out. I'll be there in the morning. Jump back, and I'll see you guys on the 26th for the Ohio Showcase. We're going to be there all day. Listen, Resilient Journeys is going to be in the house. Wear your orange. Listen, look at the number. Yeah, we could have a conversation about it. Fine. I just say 15 friends. Everybody give you $10. You can show up. Registration is ending soon, so make sure that you sign up to come to the Ohio Showcase. It's local. It's in Grandview. Beautiful establishment, beautiful lunch. Listen, Erica can bear witness because she is the creator of the menu. We have an amazing chef, beautiful lunch. We have gluten-free options. There's dairy-free, more and more and more. We have a super dope, self-advocate. He's a magician as well. He's going to come and share. You can get the QR code. And last but not least, we always do it. Every time, you've got to fill out the evaluations. For us to continue to do what we do, as you can see, of course, it's free of charge. We just ask everybody if you could just take the time out if you could take the time out to fill out the evaluations. Tell us what you thought. Share any of those nuggets. Share any of those bricks that you have and any of the bricks that you heard from our amazing panelists. Thank you, Ms. Karen. She said she loved the integrated support STAR. It came alive for her in this session. That's what we're talking about. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as Erica put in, this Friday is the deadline to register. So please, 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 please register if you want to come. Find those, like I said, just 15 friends. Tell everybody just to give you $10 by Friday. It's nothing to it. So you can come and participate. Feel free to wear orange if you want to. And I think we might be early, 2 minutes after. But look, won't God do it, huh? Listen, ladies, let me stop sharing and tell each of my panelists once again. Lady Lows, I appreciate you. Dr. Tanika Esquire, I appreciate you. Lady Extreme Nicole, I appreciate you. I thank you. I honor that you were willing to participate, willing to be vulnerable, willing to share your story with us. It's not easy sharing, right? But you guys were able to be transparent and being here for us. I know you're my friends, right? With that being said, I appreciate and respect you all so much. Don't forget, Autism and We, every Thursday, they come over and see us. We come see them. Jump on in. Let's have a party. Let's have a good time. Thank you again. I also want to say big thanks to Tracy Mans, Erica Young, and also Celia Schlemmer for being helpful always with Resilient Journeys. It's like our tag team members helping us front, back, side to side. So I'm going to end with this. Have a good night. Don't work too hard. If you can't do nothing else, take a moment just to breathe. I'll see you guys next month. Have a good evening, everybody. Bye-bye.